Number one, building the mindset to become wealthy. You have to be wealthy in your mind before you can see this wealth in your bank account. And in order to have this wealthy mindset, and no, I'm not talking about that woo-woo, hippy-dippy stuff. I'm talking about real understanding how you become wealthy. If you want to have that successful mindset, there are 4 things that you have to understand and adopt and believe and say. Number one, I will become wealthy. Not that I can, not that I might, I will become wealthy. Number 2, money is a tool. Money doesn't make you bad, money doesn't make you evil, money doesn't make you good. It's just a tool. Number 3, money is abundant. There's a lot of money out there. And if you live in this limited scarcity mindset, you're never going to become wealthy. And number 4, it is my duty. It is your duty to become wealthy. Not somebody else's job, it is your job. It is my job to become wealthy. Now, I've already talked about this. You have to believe that you're going to become wealthy before you actually become wealthy. But I want to go deeper here into how money is a tool, because many of us put up a smoke screen when it comes to the topic of money. That when people start talking about money, we get uneasy, we get uncomfortable, and we say money doesn't matter, money's bad, rich people are evil, they must have done something slimy or greedy to get there. And the reason why so many people do that, and the reason why so many of us grow up in a household where money is taboo and evil and bad, is because most people are insecure about their own money. And in order to understand that money is just a tool, you have to understand how money plays a part in your life. And one of the things that I like to talk about is my Quadri-FIT theory, which says if you want to live a happy and fulfilled life, there are 4 fitnesses that you have to adopt. Number 1, at the bottom, at the base, you have to be physically fit. Because if you're on your deathbed, nobody cares about how much money they have in their bank account. All they want to do is feel healthy again. When you're not healthy, all you want is to be healthy. Number 2 is you have to be mentally fit. Now, there's a lot of definitions for mental fitness. This could mean feeling happy, not being depressed, not being anxious, but it's being content and happy with what you have. And more money isn't going to make you happy per se. More money can solve the financial problems in your life. I am not one of those people that say money does not matter. It absolutely matters, because if you don't have money, it can destroy your mental health. But there's a difference between being stressed over money and being depressed and anxious and unhappy and surrounded by toxic people. So if you are having this mental unfitness, you have to invest in this, whether it's getting therapy, whether it's cutting some people out of your life, whether it's figuring out how you can actually have the happiness, you have to invest in that here. Number 3 is your spiritual fitness. This doesn't have to mean religion. It's what is your purpose? Because if you do have $10 million in your bank account, now what? What's your reason to get out of bed in the morning? What's your reason to get excited and go up and do things? You have to have a purpose. What's the reason for getting up every single day? And then at the top is your financial fitness. Now, your financial fitness matters. A lot of people like to run around the internet talking about how money doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about money. But the only people that say money doesn't matter are people that are already rich, or it's people that are delusional. Because the reality is it costs money to eat and it costs money to feed other people. Whether you want to take your kids to Disney World, whether you want to buy your wife a new purse, whether you want to take better care of your parents, or you want to do something nice for yourself, it costs money to do that. And if you say, well, I just want to take care of the world, I want to feed hungry people. Great, that's very noble of you. But that food costs money as well. The more money you have, the more money you can do and the more people that you can help. That's how money is a tool, which brings us to number 3. Money is abundant. The reality is there's a lot of money in the world. If you've been following my channel, if you've been reading market briefs, you know that there's a lot of money out there. I mean, the United States government has over $35 trillion of national debt. All you need is a small sliver of it. And what many people get caught up with is many people focus in on what somebody else is getting. If I pay you $1, that means you're getting $1 and I'm losing $1. You're so focused on these small transactional things as opposed to understanding how you can grow the pie. How can you figure out how you can grow how much money you earn? Because if you can spend $1 to earn $2, well, now it's a win-win transaction. And this is the type of thing you want to be thinking about. How can you work to grow your pie, grow your mindset, grow your wealth? You have to start thinking in abundance as opposed to scarcity. That way you can think in bigger terms and in bigger wealth numbers. And then, of course, it is my duty to become wealthy. It's not anybody else's job to make you wealthy. It is up to you to make yourself wealthy. Once you build the right mindset, now you have to understand the rules of money. And I promise we're going to get into what you actually do with the dollars that you earn in just a second. But you have to understand the rules of money, because most people are playing the game of money without understanding how it works. There are 3 rules of money that every single one of us should have learned before we graduated high school. And they are, number 1, money flows to the investor. Number 2, inflation brings more dollars to the investor. And number 3, our tax code benefits the investor. We're all taught to go to school, to get good grades, to get a good job. But our economic system is designed to benefit the investor. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Our economic system is comprised of what I like to call 3 different entities. They are the consumer, the investor, and then the businesses. Every single person is a consumer. Rich people, middle class people, poor people, everybody's a consumer because everybody's got to eat. And so what happens is consumers go to a business to spend money. You go to Chipotle and you buy yourself a bowl plus extra guac. Now, when you spend money at the business, the profits flow to the investor. So the more money and more guac you buy, the more money that flows to the investor, which is rule number 1, money flows to investors. When you go and spend money at a business, that is benefiting the investors, the owners of the business, and the owners are, of course, the investors. The second rule is that inflation benefits the investor. What does inflation do? Inflation makes things more expensive. Over the last number of years, guacamole has become a whole lot more expensive. That means you as a consumer have to spend more dollars at that business buying that stuff. And so as more dollars go into the hands of the business, more dollars flow into the hands of the investor as well. If we take a look at the last 5 years, between 2019 to 2024, what we have seen happen is that the average income has grown by around 18%. The average inflation rate, the reported average inflation rate, not the real inflation rate, but the reported inflation rate, is about 23%. Versus the stock market, the S&P 500 over the same 5 years has grown by over 80%. As we have seen incomes rise a little bit, inflation has grown faster than that, but the real winner in that system were the investors. Now you might say, well, we're just talking about this period post-pandemic. But this has been going on for way before the pandemic. If we take a look at what has happened between 1971 to 2021, which is before we saw the real boom in inflation, over those 5 decades between 1971 and 2021, we saw household income grow by around 600%. The price of a new car had grown by around 840%. The cost to buy a median home has grown by a little bit over 1,200%. And the cost of attending 1 year in a public 4-year university has grown by around 2,000%. And we saw the S&P 500, the stock market, grow by around 4,000%. So who won? The investor. And then of course we have the tax code, which is designed to benefit the investor. Now, although I am a licensed attorney, I'm not your attorney, but what I can tell you is that when you are an investor, you get to qualify for lower tax rates or higher tax breaks that you don't get when you are an employee. For example, in 2024, the CEO of Coca-Cola is estimated to make around $8 million in cash compensation. That's things like salary and bonuses, actual cash that he gets in his pocket. He's going to get other forms of compensation like equity, but I'm going to focus just on the salary. So about $8 million in salary versus Warren Buffett, who is an investor in Coca-Cola, is going to make over $700 million in 2024 from dividends. That's cash payments he gets for owning the Coca-Cola stock. Now, my goal with telling you this isn't to show you the earning potential as an investor, but to focus in on the tax code, because James Quincy, who is the CEO of Coca-Cola, is making a lot of money. And because he's making a lot of money, he's going to have to pay the top federal tax rate of 37%. But Warren Buffett, who's going to make many times more than the CEO of James Quincy, made his money as an investor, not as an employee. And because he made his money as an investor, not an employee, he can make many times more money, but his top tax rate is 20%. The tax code is designed to benefit the investor, but we're all told to make more money as an employee, when in reality, our economic system is designed to benefit the investor, which is why you want to be an investor so you can actually build wealth. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.